So, Captain America Brave New World has finally arrived, and the reviews are all over the place. And the reactions range from pretty good, mid, or just god awful. Even before reviews came out, there were reports that the film had extensive reshoots, cutting of sequences, and characters, which raised concerns about the film's direction. After Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was excited to see Sam take on and embrace the role of Captain America. It's crazy that we haven't seen him in a project for like almost 4 years. This is one of my most anticipated films of the year besides Superman and Fantastic Four. So rather than listen to online reviews, I decided to give the film a chance for myself, and I have to say, it's an enjoyable watch. So let's get into my spoiler review of Captain America Brave New World. In Act 1, President Ross sends Captain America and the new Falcon to retrieve a stolen case of adamantium, which the Serpent Society have in their possession. They're able to retrieve the adamantium, but Sidewinder escapes. After completing the mission, Sam takes Joaquin to a training facility where they meet Isaiah Bradley. They're then invited to the White House by President Ross. During the summit, Isaiah is mind-controlled in attempting to kill President Ross, but is stopped and arrested. In Act 2, Sam and Joaquin try to find the person behind the assassination attempt on President Ross. While investigating, Sidewinder tracks down Sam and attempts to kill him. However, Sam is able to defeat him and he's arrested. Sam and Joaquin finally uncover who was behind the assassination attempt and is revealed to be Samuel Stearns. Sam and Joaquin are able to stop the leader's plan, attempting to start a war between the United States and Japan. Before being arrested, Stearns triggers a gamma radiation inside Ross, which transforms him into the Red Hulk. Sam fights the Red Hulk and is able to defeat him. Isaiah is later then cleared of his crimes and freed out of prison. Ross is taken into custody and later imprisoned on the raft. Now let's talk about the pros of the movie. Anthony Mackie gave a really great performance in this film. Sam is definitely worthy of the shield and this film proved it. I love his relationship with Torres and Isaiah Bradley. Their scenes together were some of the film's highlights. During Act 1, Sam invites Torres to train with Isaiah Bradley to sharpen his skills. During the training session, Sam's tasked with removing flags from Isaiah, testing his speed and agility. It was great seeing Isaiah help train Sam. Another great moment is the limo scene, where the trio shares a moment of joy before heading into the White House. It was a nice contrast to the intensity of the film. One of the most heartbreaking moments in the film is when Isaiah is arrested for the attempted murder of President Ross. He looks over at Sam and says, "I can't go back inside." What hurt even more was that while he was being detained, he was upset they were messing up his suit. That was the same suit he wore when he married his wife. I swear to God, I welled up with tears seeing him go through that. I saw a review say this film was empty, but I strongly disagree. How could you watch that scene and not feel anything for Isaiah? During Act 2, we get an awesome fight between Sam and Sidewinder. I really enjoyed the scene because it proved that Sam can handle himself without relying on the shield or his wingsuit. Harrison Ford delivers a strong performance as Thunderbolt Ross, proving to be a worthy successor to the late William Hurt. Very early in Act 1, we see him rocking a mustache, and honestly, he pulls it off. In addition to wanting Sam's help to restart the Avengers, Ross is also pushing for an international peace treaty, adding another layer to his political agenda. Meanwhile, he also tries reconnecting with Betty, hoping to mend their relationship and prove he's changed. That said, I couldn't fully buy into it. It kind of felt like the movie just needed an excuse to bring Betty back. There was a surprise cameo that I really enjoyed in the film. Bucky makes a heartfelt appearance, reminding Sam that Steve chose him for a reason because he's a good man. So let's talk about the fight scenes. They range from pretty solid to just okay. Some moments looked really great, but others felt half-assed. The editing wasn't bad, but it could have been tighter, and the choreography had its ups and downs. That said, there were some standout moments, especially with Sam's shield work. In Act 2, when the leader sends his guards after Sam and Torres, Sam is like a really cool spin kick, and it launches his shield into an enemy. It really showed how he's becoming more skilled, treating the shield as an extension of himself. The battle between Sam and the Red Hulk was great. The Red Hulk didn't have much screen time, but his presence on screen was incredible. Sam actually holds his own, landing in some clean hits and even managing to slice and stab the Red Hulk a couple of times. One of the most intense moments was when Red Hulk ripped off one of Sam's wings and nearly killed him, but Sam barely managed to escape. This fight kept me on the edge of my seat. Now let's talk about the negatives about the film. The leader wasn't bad, but he wasn't great either. He was just severely underutilized. His design was certainly a choice. I watched 3C Films' review of this film, and he said he looked like a rotten piece of broccoli, and I can't see it. His original design looked a lot better. So in the film, we learned that Ross had kept Stearns imprisoned in Echo Camp 1 for 16 years, promising him freedom in exchange for curing Ross's heart failure. Stearns had created some special pills to treat Ross for his health condition. However, Ross didn't stay true to his word. Due to this, Stearns had the pills laced with gamma radiation, which increased with each dosage. This leads to Ross transforming into the Red Hulk. His plan involved tricking Japan into believing the US wanted to steal their adamantium supply, sabotaging international cooperation, and exposing Thunderbolt Ross as a corrupt. Towards the end of the film, Stearns confronts Sam and willingly surrenders, which felt anticlimactic. All that build up, the long 16-year wait to exact his revenge, and he just decides to kinda give up. They were probably looking for a reasonable way to have Sam face the Red Hulk in the final act and wanted to wrap Stern's story up quickly. Aside from the leader, several other characters felt underwhelming or unnecessary in the film. From the trailers, I was hyped for the showdown between Sidewinder and Cap, but he barely gets any screen time. That said, he made the most of his limited moments. I didn't know that Copperhead was in this film as well. His inclusion felt pointless. He wasn't intimidating, and his role as an enforcer was unconvincing. You could swap him out for any generic brute, and nothing would change. Agent Taylor is an aide to President Ross in the film. She's just there, mostly in the movie. From the clip that was shown a few days before the film came out, it felt like Taylor was going to have a bigger role in the film. She was also shown off in trailers assisting Sabra. Dennis Dunphy is another character in the film. He's Demolition Man in the comics, and he's also Sam's friend and ally. He didn't really do much in the film. All he does is call a friend of his to analyze the pills Ross was taking. Also, instead of having a useless character like Dunphy be in the film, have Agent Taylor take on his role. And she could have been the one to investigate the pills Ross was taking. It also felt like she was supposed to be a bigger part in the film, but they cut her story down. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Sabra's inclusion sparked controversy online. In the comics, her Israeli identity is central to her character, but the film stripped most of that away, reworking her into a former Black Widow. While I understand Marvel's reasoning, the execution felt flat, and she felt wasted. I saw on Twitter that some people suggested replacing Sabra with Misty Knight or Sharon Carter, but I believe Agent Taylor would have been the best fit, given her direct ties to the story. There's a scene where the leader confronts Sam before being arrested, and it feels awkward. The leader was standing off balance and looked stiff. It was painfully obvious that this was a reshoot scene. In the third act, when Sam tries to calm down the Red Hulk, the green screen effects are straight dog shit. I saw the movie in Dolby at my local AMC, and I thought I was tripping for a second. The Sidewinder reshoot scenes weren't bad. I couldn't tell that they were part of the reshoots. It does suck that the Serpent Society got a much more reduced role in this film. From the early set photos leaked, they had actors Seth Rollins and Rosa Salazar on set. They were originally supposed to be in the film but were cut due to rewrites and reshoots. I was interested in seeing Salazar's take on Diamondback as well as Seth Rollins' take on King Cobra, which he was rumored to be playing. Additionally, the funeral scene featured in the trailers was cut from the film, and it appeared to be quite interesting. I saw some people say online it was going to be Ross's funeral, which I can see. It would have been really disappointing to see him die after turning into the Red Hulk once. I also wasn't aware that Amadeus Cho was supposed to be in the film as well. Before the rewrites, Sam was originally supposed to visit Stark Industries to learn more about the gamma radiation pills from Amadeus. But I'm glad he wasn't included. It would have introduced too many characters. So let's talk about the post-scene credit. At some point after the film's events, Sam visits Stearns in a raft. And Stearns just states the obvious. The multiverse is being threatened. Like, no kidding. But what really makes no sense is how he would even know that. Ross had him locked away for 16 years in a sex dungeon. He wouldn't know if the universe was being threatened. If I could, I'd give a possible rework for the end credit scene I believe we should have gotten. Earlier, I mentioned that Agent Taylor would have been a better choice to investigate the gamma pills. In the post-credit scene, it's revealed that Sharon Carter was the contact Agent Taylor reached out to for analysis. However, Sharon secretly keeps some of the pills for her own purposes. This will be a hot take, but I think this film should have kicked off Phase 4 as it had much more set potential for the MCU. Besides its shortcomings, the film was decent and a fun watch. If I could rank it to any MCU film, it'd be under Shang-Chi. Overall, I give this film a 7.5 out of 10. While not a perfect film, it's a solid MCU entry that deserved better handling and production.